In Instant Expert this week, we're rounding up everything you may not already know about Destiny, Bungie's universe-conquering FPS that's set to redefine shooters this September. And if you're new to the game, don't forget to check out last week's preview by clicking the on-screen link now. Let's talk about story first. The basics are already common knowledge. You play as a Guardian pushing out from the one remaining safe city on Earth to fight alien threats intent on wiping out humanity. However, one of the newest things we've seen, and something that explains why story details are so scant, is that Destiny will conduct much of its narrative through character design in a very Dark Souls way. If you look at the Fallen, for example, they look almost regal, apart from the tattered ancient cape that tells you something of their history. Everything from weapons to the world itself is designed to fill in those narrative gaps. And although this is a game with a clear multiplayer focus, players who prefer to navigate the story on their own will be able to do so. There's no requirement to do co-op focused activities or PvP to complete the story. Moreover, the campaign will give you exclusive rewards and is purpose-built for levelling up. We'll talk about PvP next. Much like we mentioned in our previous point, you don't have to do campaign missions at all. Competitive multiplayer isn't actually available immediately though, so you'll have to unlock it with one of your characters. And once it's unlocked for them, it's unlocked for everybody. Apparently it'll take a couple of hours to get there, something clearly intended to bed players in with Destiny systems and ensure that they're able to compete. And once you've got it, you can discard the campaign entirely just to focus on PvP. Next up, we've got abilities, and the recent footage revealed loads of information about these. Here you can see the UI displaying your special bar that slowly fills as you fight. Once it's full, you'll see that it glows yellow, allowing you to pull off your tailored special attacks. Killing enemies fills this up faster, and there seems to be timed chain reaction scores which may also affect your meter. Most importantly, using your special powers generates orbs which significantly boost the meter of anyone who collects them. The catch is that you can't pick these orbs up yourself, so working together to chain specials could become an essential tactic. It's also worth noting that simply activating your special isn't enough. You need to get kills for the orbs to appear. Looking at the UI, you can also see cooldown timers for certain attacks, which again appear to have modifiers that affect how they work. The Bungie gameplay we saw shows a hunter getting an instant reset for a successful knife throw, but exactly what affects the cooldown time isn't clear. It could be because of the critical hit, the kill, or because of a passive bonus. Destiny is so deep that it's quite hard to tell at this stage, but we do at least know that it's in. We've only touched on the surface here, but for a more detailed look at this, check out Datto's incredible breakdown of the most recent gameplay by clicking the link on screen now. We'll have a brief stop at locations next. Everything we've seen so far relies on a sense of familiarity. Russian areas, for example, have the austere feel of the 1950s Soviet Union, and some places have a deliberately outdated tech. You'll see standard automobiles added to give you an immediate sense of this being a real place with a legitimate history. Other areas we've seen include the social hub of the Tower, Old Russia, Hellmouth and Accelerator on the Moon, and the Exclusion Zone on Mars, currently occupied by the Cabal. Speaking of which, footage has also showed off Cabal spaceships and the Citadel on Venus, which is apparently occupied by the Vex. That brings us to our next heading, which is enemies. We know a few obvious things. The Hive are supposed to evoke a sense of undead royalty, vaguely humanoid with rotting skin and ancient crumbling armour. The Cabal, also known as Sand Eaters and War Rhinos, are the muscle, massive bipedal lumps from a highly militarised industrial complex. The Fallen are a nomadic race of multi-limbed insectoids, and the Vex are partly robotic time travellers in command of endless metal armies. More recently though, we've seen that these enemies will fight each other, much like the Covenant and the Flood in Halo. Given their distinct differences, and the level of tactical nuance Bungie has shown in previous games, this is an awesome prospect. Next, we've got a fascinating one, and it's all about levelling and loot. In many ways, Destiny is similar to a traditional RPG in the way that it treats this stuff, and in doing so, it obviously resembles Borderlands. As you progress, you'll pick up loot that's personalised to you, but unlike trad MMOs, there's no infighting over top-tier gear or inventory-filling junk. Weapons are also colour graded by tier, another trait straight from the big book of MMO best practice. Sometimes you'll find gear that's beyond your character, which can tantalisingly be stored in your vault for later use. These weapons can even be traded between your characters. At the moment, this is limited to single accounts, but Destiny is designed to change over time, something we'll talk about in a bit. There's no auction house yet, but you can't discount that or cross-player trading entirely. With regards to levelling, again it's massively deep, but we don't yet know what the level cap is. Having said that, we're yet to see anyone higher than level 20. Crucially though, it doesn't end there. According to Bungie, getting there is relatively quick, and once you hit the cap, it becomes a game of unlocking the gear that will let you go further into the game. Again, this has a distinct RPG feel to it, not dissimilar to the endgame in Diablo. You'll have a greater selection of strikes at this point, as well as 6-player raids and high-level PvP, all of which will reward you with better stuff. Not only that, but soldiering through the endgame will unlock greater abilities. Getting to that level cap, it seems, is just the beginning. We'll have a quick look at character creation next. If you didn't know, the 3 races to choose from are Human, Exo and Awoken. Humans are battle-hardened and rugged, Awoken more cold, ethereal and almost angelic, and the Exos are tireless rebooted machines that are stern and imposing. Most recently, we saw the system in B-roll footage, which showed off how you can customise race, gender, face and markings. Clearly, different genders are available for all races, which is pretty cool. And we'll finish off with development. Destiny is a game, much like World of Warcraft, that will evolve over time. For example, the tower is a community area where players will congregate to show off their stuff. Bungie is watching this area to see what people actually want, whether it's more emotes or the ability to play games together. It's a social hub that you can expect to change over time, a bit like Orgrimmar or Stormwind in World of Warcraft. Bungie is also working hard to ensure a constant flow of new stuff. Where previously it was Bungie.net or Xbox Live that powered the behind-the-scenes stuff in Halo, Destiny has a dedicated team working shifts to keep Destiny fresh for the next 10 years. It's an incredible undertaking made more amazing by the lack of a subscription fee. Quite simply, there's nothing else like Destiny out there. That's all we've got for now, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want more Destiny, please don't forget to check out our preview now. You can also watch last week's Instant Expert by clicking the on-screen link, which is all about Assassin's Creed Unity.